A reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 19. When the two angels came to Sodom that evening, Lot was sitting at the city gate. As soon as he saw them, he got up and went to meet them. He bowed down before them and said, "Sirs, I am here to serve you. Please come to my house. You can wash your feet and spend the night. In the morning, you can get up early and go on your way." But they answered, "No, we will spend the night here in the city square." He kept on urging them, and finally they went with him to his house. Lot ordered his servants to bake some bread and prepare a fine meal for the guests. When it was ready, they ate it. Before the guests went to bed, the men of Sodom surrounded the house. All the men of the city, both young and old, were there. They called out to Lot and asked, "Where are the men who came to stay with you tonight? Bring them out to us." The men of Sodom wanted to have sex with them. Lot went outside and closed the door behind him. He said to them, "Friends, I beg you, don't do such a wicked thing. Look, I have 2 daughters who are still virgins. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do whatever you want with them. But don't do anything to these men. They are guests in my house, and I must protect them." But they said, "Get out of our way, you foreigner! Who are you to tell us what to do? Out of our way, or we will treat you worse than them." They pushed Lot back and moved up to break down the door. But the 2 men inside reached out, pulled Lot back into the house, and shut the door. Then they struck all the men outside with blindness so that they couldn't find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, "If you have anyone else here, sons, daughters, sons-in-law, or any other relatives living in the city, get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The Lord has heard the terrible accusations against these people and has sent us to destroy Sodom." Then Lot went to the men that his daughters were going to marry and said, "Hurry up and get out of here. The Lord is going to destroy this place." But they thought he was joking. At dawn, the angels tried to make Lot hurry. "Quick," they said, "take your wife and your 2 daughters and get out, so that you will not lose your lives when the city is destroyed." Lot hesitated. The Lord, however, had pity on him. So the men took him, his wife, and his 2 daughters by the hand and led them out of the city. Then one of the angels said, "Run for your lives! Don't look back, and don't stop in the valley. Run to the hills so that you won't be killed." But Lot answered, "No, please don't make us do that, sir. You have done me a great favor and saved my life, but the hills are too far away. The disaster will overtake me and I will die before I get there. Do you see that little town? It is near enough. Let me go over there. You can see it is just a small place and I will be safe." He answered, "All right, I agree. I won't destroy that town. Hurry, run. I can't do anything until you get there." Because Lot called it small, the town was named Zoar. The sun was rising when Lot reached Zoar. Suddenly, the Lord rained burning sulfur on the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah and destroyed them and the whole valley, along with all the people there and everything that grew on the land. But Lot's wife looked back and was turned into a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham hurried to the place where he had stood in the presence of the Lord. He looked down at Sodom and Gomorrah and the whole valley and saw smoke rising from the land like smoke from a huge furnace. But when God destroyed the cities of the valley where Lot was living, he kept Abraham in mind and allowed Lot to escape to safety. Because Lot was afraid to stay in Zoar, he and his 2 daughters moved up into the hills and lived in a cave. The older daughter said to her sister, "Our father is getting old, and there are no men in the whole world to marry us so that we can have children. Come on, let's get our father drunk so that we can sleep with him and have children by him." That night they gave him wine to drink, and the older daughter had intercourse with him. But he was so drunk that he didn't know it. The next day the older daughter said to her sister, "I slept with him last night. Now let's get him drunk again tonight, and you sleep with him. Then each of us will have a child by our father." So that night they got him drunk, and the younger daughter had intercourse with him. Again, he was so drunk that he didn't know it. In this way, both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their own father. The older daughter had a son, whom she named Moab. He was the ancestor of the present-day Moabites. The younger daughter also had a son, whom she named Ben-Ammi. He was the ancestor of the present-day Ammonites. The word of the Lord. A reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 20. Abraham moved from Mamre to the southern part of Canaan and lived between Kadesh and Shur. Later, while he was living in Gerar, he said that his wife Sarah was his sister. So King Abimelech of Gerar had Sarah brought to him. One night, God appeared to him in a dream and said, "You are going to die because you have taken this woman. She's already married." But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, "Lord, I am innocent. Would you destroy me and my people?" Abraham himself said that she was his sister, and she said the same thing. "I did this with a clear conscience, and I have done no wrong." God replied in the dream, "Yes, I know that you did it with a clear conscience, so I kept you from sinning against me and did not let you touch her. But now, give the woman back to her husband. He is a prophet, and he will pray for you so that you will not die. But if you do not give her back, I warn you that you are going to die, you and all your people." Early the next morning, Abimelech called all his officials and told them what had happened, and they were terrified. Then Abimelech called Abraham and asked, "What have you done to us? What wrong have I done to you to make you bring this disaster on me and my kingdom? No one should ever do what you have done to me. Why did you do it?" Abraham answered, "I thought that there would be no one here who has reverence for God, and that they would kill me to get my wife. She really is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not of my mother, and I married her. So when God sent me from my father's house into foreign lands, I said to her, 'You can show how loyal you are to me by telling everyone that I am your brother.' Then Abimelech gave Sarah back to Abraham, and at the same time he gave him sheep, cattle, and slaves. He said to Abraham, 'Here is my whole land. Live anywhere you like.' He said to Sarah, 'I am giving your brother 1,000 pieces of silver as proof to all who are with you that you are innocent. Everyone will know that you have done no wrong.' Because of what had happened to Sarah, Abraham's wife, the Lord had made it impossible for any woman in Abimelech's palace to have children. So Abraham prayed for Abimelech, and God healed him. He also healed his wife and his slave women so that they could have children. The word of the Lord.